This is The Brief, where policy meets business. From City Hall to the state capitol to Washington, D.C., we break down the issues impacting jobs, growth, infrastructure, and opportunity right here in Corpus Christi. Welcome back to The Brief, where we break down the issues, initiatives, and conversations shaping our business community here in the Coastal Bend. I'm your host, Ginny Cross. I'm the VP of Advocacy for the United Corpus Christi Chamber of Commerce. And today, we're talking about one of our most important advocacy efforts, our upcoming Coastal Bend to D.C. Trip that is happening in June. And today, we're joined by Gus Barrera. He is the CEO of IBC Bank and the chair of the Coastal Bend to D.C. Trip. Welcome, Gus.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I'm excited. This is going to be fun.
It is absolutely going to be fun. Yeah. Let's start with the basics. For those who may not be familiar with our Coastal Bend to Washington, D.C. trip, what is it and why does it matter?
You mentioned in the title advocacy, and so making sure that the Coastal Bend and the surrounding area is able to get dollars, and we can also put attention or gain attention for our needs in the Coastal Bend region is very important. I learned a long time ago, I had some great mentors. One of them was Senator Carlos Truan. He would always joke back in the day that the United States ended south in San Antonio, meaning that any communities on the border would have to fight for federal funding. And so I always remember that, and the past trips that we've been to D.C. to advocate for our issues. I always remember Senator Truan and his wise words.
That is actually really good advice. I mean, he might be a little surprised to see how much attention we're getting these days.
He would. He would love it, though. He would love it. And so, yes.
So, and this isn't just a fly-in and a few meetings here and there. It's strategic.
Yeah, what we want to do is meet with those legislators who are on the committees that we need to talk to. There are a lot of issues, and we'll go over them. But obviously, everybody knows water. Water is important to the region.
What's that?
No big surprise there. But there's also a lot of issues. Of course, we have the Port of Corpus Christi. We want to make sure that their funding is taken care of. It's a big economic driver for the community. But even then, we want to talk about immigration. We want to talk about labor force here in South Texas and in our region. But then we also want to talk about developmental issues, environmental issues, all that are very important to the region to keep us growing, to keep us sustained, and keep us going in the right direction. And what's important is we want to be there in person, because if they don't hear from us, then they assume everything's okay. And so if we have issues with regards to development or economics, and I'll use the I-69 corridor, it's so important to the region, but there's no really federal funding formula out there. And so we want to make sure that we're meeting with the legislators and talking about how important that federal funding is, because when we have I-69, and if you look, there's growth and development all along the I-69 corridor. And that corridor really affects us because it goes all the way south to Brownsville, McAllen, Harlingen, and then goes all the way north up to Michigan. And so all those trucks that are coming, which will come through the area, is just an economic engine for us, and we want to make sure that we're telling the story.
That's really important. I-69 pretty much connects Canada, United States, and Mexico.
Yeah,
and
yes,
those are our biggest trading partners for the nation and for the state.
Yeah, so important. One of the things we want to talk about is keeping the USMC trade agreement in effect. And there's a revision coming up, so we want to make sure that Texas is taken care of. Of course, Texas is Mexico's largest trading partner, and I may get my numbers wrong, but I think trade is like $1.3 billion that is part of the USMC agreement, but Texas gets almost a third of that. And so the amount of money that's coming into to Texas, which benefits the Corpus Christi region, we just want to make sure it's protected. And
notice that you've been mentioning growth a lot. there are some folks out in the community that think that we've grown enough. Thanks very much. What do you say to folks that maybe are fearful of the growth that we have experienced and continue to want to experience?
Yeah, I agree. We've got to have responsible growth, and I think we need to work in partnership with everybody. And so when my idea, my son's big into Disney, so Zootopia, the movie where everybody gets along, I would love to see that, because I think responsible growth with what we have here in Corpus Christi, I think is our responsibility. But without growth, we don't have services that give back to the company, the community, the nonprofits, and so we've got to manage that carefully, because zero growth is a dangerous thing, in my opinion. But yeah, that Zootopia would be my idea. But so.
Good analogy.
Yeah.
So which animal are you in this scenario?
I'm not sure, but my son keeps calling me the fox. I'm
Nice.
not sure why.
Nice. That's awesome. And maybe I know sometimes people are like, oh, it's just a junket trip to D.C., and it's really not. It's a lot of work. I always tell people, you better wear your good shoes, because we are not slowing down for you to teeter around in uncomfortable shoes. So, we're serious. We're going to take as many meetings as we can.
Yeah.
But we might have a little bit of fun.
No,
Do you ever have any fun on this trip?
Oh, absolutely. I think a couple of things. I may back up a little. I wish Corpus Christi's motto would be, "We work hard," because I think Corpus Christi residents do work very hard, but we play hard. And the reason we're able to do that is because we have the beach, we've got hunting, we've got fishing, we've got a whole bunch of things that are afforded to us. But without that balance without working hard, you can't play hard, and so that's when I'm a big believer in that. And yeah, in D.C., it'd be crazy not to have fun there. Just the history, being around the Capitol buildings, being able to walk through the Senate. I mean, that's historic. I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. But so that's the fun part, and then knowing that you have a little part in trying to help the coastal bend, I think that's the fun part,
Absolutely.
And so, we're ready.
I always like to tell people that if you are trying to, really get to know folks in this community, it's a great trip, because you're stuck with 30 people for 48 hours, and so you'll make new friends, and you'll get to know people, and
absolutely
get deeper, richer contacts.
Absolutely, and those 48 people who are attending really do care about Corpus Christi.
Yep.
And I think it's fantastic that the Chamber of Commerce is leading the effort to advocate for the coastal bend in the region, and those 48 people, or 50, they're working hard, and they all have water, infrastructure, development, Port of Corpus Christi. Everybody, they have everybody's back, and it's nice to see a group working as one for a common goal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you also have another role here with the Chamber of Commerce, that you are one of the chairs of the Economic Empowerment Committee. Do you want to talk a little bit about the work that committee is doing?
Yeah, I'm very fortunate. I work with Hope Rangel. I'm co-chair. My other co-chair is Dan Suckley with American Bank, soon to be Prosperity. Great guy. And I think our goal is to get small entrepreneurs and small businesses, connect them with the resources that are available to them, whether it be a bank or a lift fund or something where they can get education, money, capital to grow their business. And so I always say entrepreneurs are the ones that take the risk, and it's a big risk. But without us, it's kind of like they're the backbone of the small business in the economy. And so our job as part of that committee is to get them resources. Education is a big thing. If I were, I'm fortunate, right? I've been in banking for 31 years, but if I had just started, I'm like, where do I start? What do I need? And then from step one to What kind of organization do you want to be? Do you want to incorporate? Do you want to be an LLC? And then how do I approach a bank? How do I find funding? And so the Economic Empowerment Committee, this is what we do. And so, yeah.
And that's really important because small business probably employs more people than any other sector.
Oh, it's critical. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's so
yeah.
critical to the economy, but to Corpus Christi. You
Yeah.
know, I think I'm a big fan of the food truck festivals. I'm a big guy. I like to eat. Of course, I like them. But the reality is that's the entrepreneur who's taking the risk.
Yeah.
And I've got so much respect for them. So.
That's awesome. That's great. Anything else you want everyone to know?
No, I would say if you are interested in joining us, the more the better. You know, I think when they see 5 to 10 people walk into their office and sit down with the legislators one-on-one, it makes a difference. You know, we'll be visiting with a senator from Indiana who's on the very important chair of this committee. It makes an impression that people from Texas are, one, well organized, we're efficient, we have our story, here's what we need, how can you help, how can we help you? And so for us to be able to tell that story is wonderful, and I think the Chamber, again, but if anybody has an interest, please join us because the advocacy that we do there is very important.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for tuning into The Brief. If you'd like more information about Coastal Bend DC or how to get involved, be sure to reach out to me or anyone on the Chamber team. Until next time, stay informed and stay engaged.